Oh,
What is going on, everyone? My name is Joseph Reynolds, and today joining me is Mr. Brian Manning ahead of his next title fight against Senan Coakley. Another big fight for yourself. For that fight, how are you feeling for it, buddy?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great, and it's a good thing. It's just coming after another big fight. You know, at the moment, I'm getting title fight after title fight, a main event after main event. Like this again it'll be there's two pro fights ahead of us, but like where the third fight, which is the biggest amateur fight on the promotion, and then my last fight was the biggest amateur fight, and my last fight before that. So I'm doing fairly well. I'm feeling good and training hard. I'm looking forward to fighting Cena now. And we'll
Yeah,
talk all about it. We'll talk all about it and the matchup and stuff and what I am and what he is, and we get into it. Like, I suppose I'll leave you ask the questions.
100%. And as well, sort of, you take a look at this year, you mentioned there as well, you've had these big opponents, the big fights, titles on good promotions as well. In terms of sort of seeing how this year has been in getting those wins and being in this position as well, how would you say this year has been for you so far?
Man, unbelievable. I didn't expect me to be in this position. Like I'm after a year now. No, in the last year, like last July, I had a fight. I got it was a war, another war. I'm always involved in war somehow, and I got a concussion, and it's been a bit of a year with injuries, but it's been a very successful year with fights. You know, I've won some big fights, I've lost some big fights, and my only losses are actually against. I have two losses against two national champions, one loss against a champion in Dara Ward, which is cream of the crop, an Irish amateur. So I've only my losses run against champions, but overall this year I've been very successful for a fella, right? I've been fighting. I started to compete. I started fighting legally. I started fighting in 2021, novice, fucking novice, man. Now it's 2023, and I'm fighting the best of the best in amateur fight for titles. That shit is unheard of, and so overall, it's been a very good year. As I said, I was facing Jess Paulo. He was at the time he was ranked number one in Ireland and UK in middleweight, and I beat him. I took him on a week's notice, so I kind of proved that I'll fight anyone, and I can beat anyone too, man. I can beat anyone too. It's just the last week. Then I fought Dara Ward. He did best me a bit in the third round, especially, but the first two were very close. I nearly knocked him out. Did you see that fight? No.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, a good fight.
Yeah, yeah, good fight, man, wasn't it? And like the first one was very close. I remember I threw a needless kick at the end, and maybe that stole the round for him. And then the second round, man, I nearly blew his head off in the second round. Like those big hooks, bam, bam, bam. His head was going this way, that way, this way, and then he kind of done a dance off. He circled off and he went for the takedown. And then I went to take his back and he rolled, which is smart. He was a very good fighter. Then the third round, he got away at me. I was tired. He was stabbing in teeps. And then so I lost that fight. And then the next fight now I have is Senan, another title fight. And then who knows what's going to happen in December? There could be another two fights I'd have before the year's out. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And as well, obviously, you talk about the Jess Paulo fight. You took it on the week's notice. You went in there and you were able to win that fight as well. Do you feel as though that was the fight that sort of really changed things for you as an amateur in terms of being able to get these bigger fights?
100%, man. 100%. Because I had no business fighting a fella like that at the time because I was 1-3. I was just after losing my rear naked choke, and people are like this. I'd say people are thinking this fella's not going to be up there with the cream of the crop. And then next thing, I'm going to be fighting a fella that's not ranked very highly at the time either. I don't think Matthew O'Rourke, but he's a good fighter. And he pulled out with a week's notice. My coach comes to me and say, "Look, we have just Paulo. Look, it's a very, very hard fight. They couldn't stress that enough to me." I was like, "Fuck it, we'll take the fight." Do you know what I mean? I was thinking, look, I don't know. I'm confident, of course, but I don't know. I could lose, I could win. Who knows? But I went in there to give him my all, and I came out. I came out the better man, and I beat him at his own game because I'm a striker. I'm a boxer. I'm a puncher, and he wrestles so much that it makes you wrestle. So then I said, "Fuck it, look, I'm going to wrestle as well," and I actually beat him at his own game. That was the only kind of thing regret I have with the Dara War fight is that when the striking wasn't working, I maybe should have went to a plan B. I maybe should have grappled a little bit more because I can grapple as well, you know.
Yeah,
But
and
that fight definitely, so to answer your question, that fight definitely opened all doors. If I didn't win that fight, I'd be 1-4, and people wouldn't be looking at me. I'd say, and as well, no, the brashness about me and the bit of shit talk and wearing a Michael Myers mask and all this crack, all that helps as well. Do you know what I mean? People want that. Like, so imagine when I go pro, promoters will be screaming out for that shit. No, of course you have to fight as well. You have to fucking throw down too, man. But like, you want a bit of personality, but you want to be a little dull cunt. You know what I mean? So I think it opened a lot of doors for me, but also being a bit loud as well was a big factor. You know, people want that on their show, like they want to have a show. You know.
Yeah, and as well, that's sort of been a big thing throughout your amateur career. Obviously, win, lose, you're always turning up. You're always giving people a tough test in there as well.
100%.
So, in terms of sort of looking at this matchup as well and seeing the success Senan Coakley's had, do you feel as though he has faced an opponent like yourself that's always that's always going to be in front of him, that's not really going to back away? Do you feel as though he's had that before inside the
I
MMA
don't think
cage?
so, man. I don't think he has. I don't. You know, I'm going to really test his heart. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to test his heart in this fight, and I don't know if I think slides make fights, and I think I'm a bad matchup for him. No, look, I'll be talking about a shit. We call him. He's the Coco Show. I'm calling him the Coco Pop Show and all this stuff. And but I respect him. I think he's a good little fighter, man, and he climbed the ranks fairly well. But I'm really going to test him. Do you know, when I say come for your chin, I am coming for your chin, and I'm going to bite down, and I'm going to come forward, and we'll see who's the bigger dog. You know, that's what I'd be looking for. And as I said, I'm going to test his heart, man. I'm definitely going to test his heart. I always do. I always do in those fights, and I'm very. You need a crowbar to knock me up, bro. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that fight.
100%.
And I think that, as I said, it's a bad matchup. I just think he's a day of welterweight. You know, I'd say if he pushed by a day before, the man could probably fight lightweight. So, I'm like two of him. You know what I mean? I'm just bigger, and I punch a lot harder. As I said, we'll see who's the bigger heart, and it'll be a good fight, though. It'll be a good fight. You know, he's a kicker. I'm a puncher. You know, let's see what happens.
100%. And as well, sort of
don't like to
looking at
grapple that much. We like to we like to stand and fight. You know, which is bound to be fireworks, isn't it?
100%. And as well, obviously, Cage Legacy, the promotion, seeing out the people that have held those belts and seeing what they've gone on to do to sort of have your own name be inside that bracket as well as a champion on Cage Legacy. What would that sort of mean to you to be able to have that title?
Man, it'd be a great minute, because if I get a Cage Legacy title, right? Ian Gary was in Cage Legacy. You have Shauna Bannon was Cage Legacy. You have Max Lally was Cage Legacy champion. He's another up and comer. There was all these big fighters that came from Cage. I think Cage Legacy is probably the biggest amateur promotion in Ireland. You know, and then there's close ones at IOR and Premier FC. They're probably just edging up behind it, you know. But Cage Legacy is definitely the biggest amateur promotion out there. Like, and even it brings UK fighters over there, and it's always pros on top of the show. And if I get a belt in that, no, that's a big thing for amateur, and that's a big thing for my future and going forward, you know. Because it can turn into something, as I said, a lot of people watch. If you're going to put on performance, and if you can show you have a bit of personality and you can fight, you know, firstly fight, maybe then personality second. But if you can show those things and you're a champion, people are watching, it's definitely good for the future. Definitely great to be a Cage Legacy champion.
Yeah, 100%.
Which I'll put everything in my power to be so.
Yeah, and then as well, obviously.
Sorry?
Apologies. Carry on.
No, you're fine. You're going to go and ask a question. I was just going to rant on and, you know, yourself, just talking shit.
Yeah, and as well, obviously, people in the even in UK scene as well, they may look at records, they don't actually go and watch the fight as well. They see the mixed records. Do you feel as though there is always going to be that level of underestimated from opponents as well?
I think so, man, because right, my people look at my record, I'd say probably the scene is his brother Craig Coakley and stuff, and I know him well, and I don't know him personally, but I know him as a fighter. I know he's around a long time. He's a good fighter, very good fighter. And he, I'd say they all look at the record. Like probably Darrell Ward probably look at the record. Darrell Ward was like, he used to be texting me saying, "You're an easier fight than Dino Driscoll." And he knocked Dino Driscoll out in a few seconds, you know, and I brought him to war. Like, I know I took some brain damage, but I gave him some brain damage too. So there's no way I'm an easy fight for anyone. My record doesn't reflect the fighter I am. Do you get me? Because I'm at this in such a short space of time. I'm at this. I had a bit of boxing background behind me, all right, but I have about 2 years of jiu-jitsu, real jiu-jitsu behind me, and I lost 2 fights over jiu-jitsu, over rear naked choke. And I lost another fight then was a robbery. If you ever watched that Chris McCarthy fight, he took the second round, but I pushed for the third round. I knocked him down multiple times. I took him down 3 or 4 times. He never took me down, never dropped me, never hurt me. I hurt him a lot of times, and the judges gave it to him. I couldn't believe it. So I count that fight as a win. I count my record as 3-3, even though it's 2-4. But my record definitely does not reflect the fighter I am. And the boys in the gym know that, like, so I'll be going toe to toe. We have wars in the gym, myself and Liam McKeown, Liam McKeown and Paul Buckley, and they're cream of the crop and the amateur scene, do you know what I mean? They know what way I am. But leave people do that. Leave them do that, man. Leave them underestimate me. Leave them say he's only 2-4, he's after losing 4 fights, and then they jump in the cage and they're like, oh shit, man. Do you know, so leave them to it, boy.
And then just the final thing from myself is obviously it's a big show, it's a big fight as well. What is it that the fans can expect to see from Brian Manning come fight night?
War. See, look at the size of these fists, bro. They're coming for heads, man. Yeah, they're going to see war. As I said, I'm a puncher. He's a kicker. We're going to meet in the middle of the cage. We're going to see what happens, right? And I look very forward to a 6 weeks time Cage Legacy. And Joe, I hope you watch, pal. I hope you watch.
100%, not a show to miss, not a fight to miss either.
I'm going to put in a performance, and I'm going to be Cage Legacy champion.
That was definitely, well, that is everything from myself. If you'd like to take a chance at sponsors, teammates, coaches, anything like that, obviously feel free to go ahead.
I suppose we shout out to my coach, Jack Maguire, MMA Cork, best MMA club in Cork, one of the best in Ireland. Shout out to all my teammates, my boxing coach, Emma Scully, strength conditioning coach, Darren Cashman. And shout out Cage Legacy and shout out Coco Pop Senan Coakley. Oh, let's go.
Well, there you go. Really appreciate
shout out Joe.
Today.
Joe, you're the man for getting on to me. Appreciate it because I like doing other things from other areas and other regions instead of staying with the one all the time. And it's good to get out there, get my name out there and speak more and show me your personality, you know what I mean?
No, 100%. My absolute pleasure. It's everything from myself. Really appreciate your time today, buddy. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. We'll talk again soon, right? We'll talk again soon, Joe. Thanks very much,
100%.
Thank you.
Thank you.